saying ain't nothing wrong with a celebrity crush. I beg to differ. Because you know why? It's all about them Sykalogics, baby. Welcome to the cast. Let's go. So, welcome back to episode 2. Now, I was going to do this podcast a little bit earlier, or I should say earlier this week, but things just didn't work out. Son had to do swimming lessons, and I had to work late, and, things just didn't work out. So, I'm going to do it today. I didn't get a chance to I always say I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to say, hey, come see my podcast. I'm going to go ahead and go live on Facebook, and I always forget. Today was a real busy day for work, and I had to go ahead and just, the work comes first, the vocation comes first, and I had to make sure that I made that money for today, because the brother likes to eat. Unfortunately, the usual vocation is what we need to survive. Now, today's topic. Now, to some people, they might be saying, Brian, you're really making mountains out of molehills. And this might be a topic that really isn't that big of a deal. But to me, technically it is, but it isn't. But I think I'm going to give you a different perspective of this whole thing. So it was a conversation that happened this weekend. And I was sitting around with my family, and then it always pops up every blue moon. And I actually had a friend back in the day who would say something crazy. I'm not going to say it right now because it's just totally messes it up. But okay, let's just get to it. The topic for this particular podcast is celebrity crush. That's what we're talking about, celebrity crushes. And I know most people right now are saying like, really? You could probably find something better to talk about than celebrity crushes. I'm pretty sure I could. But the question is, why? So here's the deal, celebrity crushes. What is actually the difference between a celebrity crush and a crush? Let's think about it. Is there really a difference? Come on now. So when we're growing up, we're shy, or some of us shy, some aren't. But we see that one girl or guy, it depends on if you're male or female, of course, and you like them, but you're afraid to talk to them or in that way. And you could be friends with them, and so you're crushing on them. I think that's what the terminology is nowadays. You're crushing on them. And so sometimes you miss out by just simply not, going for yours, basically. I know that's happened to me a couple times. And there was a couple times I went for mine and right in my face, just straight landed on my face. So, yeah, but I guess you could say it's a two-edged sword when you look at it. So check this out. What actually is the difference between a crush and a celebrity crush? And I'll go even one further, and I'll play the devil's advocate on this one. So celebrity crush to a point where you say, hey, I'm going to crush on a local celebrity. So now we're taking distance out completely. A celebrity, that's somebody who's in the spotlight. Everybody knows them by sight. There was a time that it was a couple of years ago. I know it was about 2016, I believe. I had just started working at LA Fitness as a personal trainer. And I saw 2 Spurs. All right. Clearly there were Spurs. I recognized them right away. Okay, so as you see right now, I'm wearing an H. Okay, so the reason why I'm wearing the H for H-Town, because I grew up little representing Houston. I've never lived in Houston, but I've lived in Port Arthur. Okay, and to me, that's just right down the street from Houston. A lot closer than San Antonio, a lot closer than Dallas. Love the Dallas Cowboys, though. They're number one. I know that's kind of one of those make up your mind up type situations, but But anyway, I totally lost track of what I was saying. But anyway, local celebrities, the Spurs. Now I guess they thought I was gonna be like, oh, I'm a fanboy. I'm gonna run up on you and can I get an autograph? I just looked at them like, what's up? And I could care less, okay, because one, I'm a dude. Okay, I don't care about no basketball player. I don't care. You're not that great because one, you wasn't starting anyway. So if anything, you should have been trying to make conversation with me. Say, oh, Al, I was shooting them J's, man. You should come down there. What do? Make simple conversations so I can recognize you. Not like, oh, No, it ain't that kind of party. There's only one person here in San Antonio that will get that kind of accreditation, and that's the Iceman. The Iceman, that's right. He's the only one around here that makes everybody go. And this for the people who are in the radio audience. I just did a pause with my mouth open, like, But nonetheless, that's the only person around here that gets that kind of status. And oh, by the way, yes, I have met George Gervin, the Iceman. I did personal training for him when I was at LA Fitness. So, yeah. And he's a cool guy. And I would always give him a hard time about the Spurs and how the Spurs are like doing like mediocre. And he was like, I don't know. But he was a down-to-earth guy. And that's like someone, he's a Hall of Famer. Go ahead. Recognize that. At the same time, I wasn't crushing or anything or doing a man crush was something totally different. And it's just one of those things. So I'll get into it. Now, I have people popping in here on Facebook because once again, it's live. And like I said, it's interactive. So like John or Ashley and John Alger, hell yeah, on my Cowboys. If there's anything that you want to say, toss your 2 cents in, please feel free to do so. I'll go ahead. Hopefully I'll catch it because right now it's easy. There's only a couple of people in the room. But bottom line is this. What we're looking at here is like Celebrity Crush. Celebrity Crush this, Celebrity Crush that. So going back to how the whole thing came about. So my wife, she just love her some rock, the whatever, if you could smell what the Rock is cooking got. And I liked him as a wrestler. Think he's pretty good as an actor. He's definitely gotten better, a lot better than what he was in the past because he was pretty bad, pretty bad. Okay. I'm going to say this. So I have Ashley instead of John on here. So now I know the difference between the two. But I'm going to say this. Why are we actually crushing on these stars? That's the first question you got to ask yourself. Why are we really crushing on these stars? Because they look good. Body looks nice, fine, or whatever. Hey, here's my question to you. Do you remember the movie Indecent Proposal? For those who are not as old as me, because I'm old as dirt, I remember that movie. And basically, it was hey, let me have your wife for $1 million for one night. Now, most people with common sense would say, no, I couldn't even believe that he was actually contemplating. And then we all know the story for those who have actually seen the movie. He went for it and he regretted it because Robert Redford was a player. He was a pimp. He was handling his business. His wife actually left him for a little bit. I mean, he was like trying to get the money back. No, bro, no take back seats down. No. But then to get in that situation, knowing that your wife has been with another man, you're going to take her back? This guy? No, not taking you back. Go back. Go back and be rich. I'll stay here broke in my beat down car and you go there with him. But the whole point I'm getting at is, in my personal opinion, is this. If you're crushing on the guy, what if they gave you back the same amount of energy that you were crushing with? What would you do? That's a good question you have to ask yourself. Would you, A, if you're married or have a significant other, say, no, I think you're cute, like your style, but I got a man. Or vice versa, I have a woman. B, smile, giggles, and go out with him, have drinks, and just see what possibly happened. Or C, to say, oh, hell yeah, I'm out. Only you can answer that question. I mean, be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. Bottom line is this, okay? To me, I'm saying if you're crushing on somebody, I'm going to use some little young terminology here. You potentially want to smash. I'm sorry. If you have something significant at your house, there's no reason to look around. Now, in most cases, guys are not going to, well, I take that back. I've heard a couple of guys. Like I said in the very beginning, back in the day, I had a friend. His name was Gary Brazil. He was a crazy dude. And we were sitting down, and he was like, you know what I tell my son when I see a real pretty girl on TV? I said, that's your new mama. No, dude, don't ever do that. But he got away with that kind of stuff. His wife might let him get away with it, but he got away with that kind of stuff. Me, I'd probably get punched in the throat. I got a wife that would be like, ah, and I'll be like, I'd go down. I would get literally punched in the throat because my wife, she got a little craziness on me. So And I know this, It's like, you better not have a celebrity crush, but I can have a celebrity crush. So whether I have one or not, no one ever know. Only I know, me and men above. But that's how I kind of look at it in that aspect. So let's just flip it around one more time. Celebrity crush with a local celebrity, news personality, someone has like these morning shows, what have you. What's the difference? It's a celebrity. Is the potential for going the ABC route, like I said earlier, is it greater? I don't know. I'm just saying. So Ashley says it's a fantasy thing, but I'm kind of confused of, are you talking about an actual celebrity crush or just a crush in general? Well, isn't a celebrity crush a crush in general? Aren't they about one and the same? I mean, there's something that you're liking about the person. However, geographically, they're not here close to you. So more than likely, you can't say, what would I do if I met so-and-so? To be honest with you, 95% of any professional football player, athlete, actor, whatever, they were stuck up anyway. They were snobs. I'm just going to be honest. I've only met like 2 or 3 professional actors, whoever, that actually had some common sense. And I had one, actually, we sat there and we had a conversation, and this was before I deployed off to Iraq. I was like, he was a great guy. If you remember that movie, Do the Right Thing, he was that guy who stuttered, Mookie. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, look it up. But it was him. And he's also the guy that was all about the Benjamins with Ice Cube and Michael Epps. He said, oh, man, you don't sleep. You have like movies, because he's got such a big white forehead. But he was really down to earth, talked all the way to North Carolina. Actually gave him a ride to where he needed to go to, in our cab. He was a real good guy. So he was one of the cool people that, like I said, and then George Gervin once again. But a lot of people are pretty much hyped on themselves. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not sold on the whole famous thing. When I was in Germany and I was playing Bundesliga football, a little kid came up to me and said autograph, boom, not even a problem. Sign a shirt, boom, not even a problem, because you never know when it might or might not happen again. And then again, you never know when you're no longer hot. Because when you're hot, but when you're not, you're not. And see, Ashley says, because a celebrity, let's be honest, we have no chance with a celebrity crush we can fantasize about. How do you know that? How do you know you don't have a chance? I guarantee you there are some people out there who think their game is that strong. And matter of fact, I'm glad you said that, Ashley. You don't have a chance? All right. Ask Britney Spears. Ask Jennifer Lopez. Those little young guys. Huh? Ask them if that person had a chance or not. Background dancers, nobody. Shoot, I call that the K-Fed effect. Not only did he get Britney, he got kids by her, and then he got to get paid. So never say never, because that is a distinct possibility that it can happen. Now, we don't know if that started off as a crush. I mean, I don't know. All I know, he was a background singer. The little young thing with J-Lo, same thing. He was a background singer. Now, theoretically, she's upgraded significantly. He was just a boo thing, I'm rich, I just go ahead and take care of you here. I'll be the sugar mama. That's the way I look at it. But there's always that possibility. Thanks, Ashley, for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. But going into it, so once again, I said, let's look at it this way. What if it's a local celebrity? What if you think that your game is that tight, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter? When I was in Korea, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, they came to Korea, and who got all the attention? The females. Could it have been a possibility that for a hookup? In their minds, they were thinking it, and they were going to shoot their game. And I know they did. I wasn't invited to the lunch, so I don't know. All I know was I was a dude. I had to go back to the B's and go back to the DFAC for lunch. So go figure. But I would also say this, if you do look at it in a certain perspective. Now, I'll look at it in a male perspective, okay? A guy is not necessarily going to crush on a female just because he wants to be oogled on. Guy got his eye on conquest. That is a man. That's a man thing. Most men think that way. Don't hate me. Don't get mad. Don't throw rocks at my car. But it is about conquest, because men can separate love and those conquest feelings. Females are a different story. very emotional, and can attach. So to me, I think it would be easier for a young lady to have a crush, like as Ashley stated, and in a fantasy type deal, not thinking that something would ever happen. But there's always that possibility. Now, here's the thing. The one thing you don't often see, because females who are rich, the celebrity females, they don't have a threat of a guy just taking their money. In a lot of situations, they're not signing prenups for guys, but for ladies, they got a term for it. So therefore, that crush goes to what? Gold digger. Or they have all kinds of terms for that. So, but not for dudes. But dudes can be gold diggers. They can be slobs. They can be whatever you want. But like I said, for the most part, when you think about it, I think guys are different when they looking at that perception. Now, I'll put it to you this way. Yes, it can be harmless, and yes, it can be fun. But think about this, and especially if you're secure. If you're secure, then it doesn't matter. Think about your significant other crushing on someone else, whether it be male or female, somebody that could possibly be a threat to you. Think about it that way. It kind of evens the playing field when you look at it that way. So I don't know. I'm not saying I think it's a legit concern, So to me, it's something to think about. It's okay to have a celebrity crush, but I think if you got one, keep it to yourself. Don't tell anyone. So you get your little smiles, but that's between you and the man upstairs. Because bottom line is this, you never know when you say something how the other person's going to feel. Not in a negative way. Sometimes that green-eyed monster is jealous. Because I'm not going to lie. In the very beginning of my relationship, whenever my wife would talk about the rock, I'd be jealous. And I see that, I'm going to punch him in his throat. It's a good probability that we'll get stomped to the ground. That's a pretty big dude. But you know what? Ain't no back down in me, bro. Ain't no back down in me. I'm not afraid. That just has to be a beat down I'm going to take. But once again, as you said, what's the likelihood of actually meeting Dwayne Johnson? I don't know. It's always a probability. There's always something that pop up. So, not to drag that out, but that's just my little 2 cents about it. So, I'm going to go to my very last topic. Like I said, I try to keep these podcasts short for right now because until you get a second person, it's just me talking and a little bit of interaction. But does anyone know what a dirty Mac is? And the reason why I say that is because this is more so on a guy. Dirty Mac. And I've looked up different, urban dictionaries about what they consider a dirty Mac. Someone who discredits somebody else so they can go ahead and slide in and be that guy. No. To me, a dirty Mac is your man, your best friend, your hombre dated Kim Kardashian. He left her and you slid in the back door. And now y'all dating. To me, that's a dirty Mac. So I like Derrick Rose style. So yeah, if you know anything about Derrick Rose and the Lakers and the whole fiasco, yeah, he was dirty Mac. I mean, that's just me saying simply. What do you think about that? What do you think about the dirty Mac? I mean, theoretically, if you're not together anymore, why should you care if I'm dating your girl or not, or your guy? Why should it matter? Potentially, the way I look at it is, if you slid around the corner while I was dating, or after I was dating her, that means you was, what are you doing? Crushing. You was crushing on her from a distance. That's right, you were crushing on her. See how that all comes together? Mm-hmm. Yep. But you do see that a lot in Hollywood, and I don't think that's because they're dirty macking in Hollywood. I think it's because the pool is so small of what actors and actresses like to date or be involved with, as well as musicians, whoever. They kind of stay in that little same arena. So you see like, oh, so-and-so dating so-and-so, or so-and-so dating so-and-so. But they try, and I know they try to keep that financial level. So they're not trying to dip too low to be dating no broke folks, because broke folks tend to try to get a upgrade in their pocket. So it is what it is. But once again, I'm about to be out of here. I'm about to hit that 20-minute mark. I always want to keep these things short. So bottom line is this. If you enjoyed this podcast and you think that, yeah, it was a little silly, but, I hit some pretty good points, be here next week, next Friday, 8 o'clock. We're going to be talking about reality TV. And oh my God, and I've already talked about one person, of course, and that's Kim Kardashian. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about the Kardashian empire and how that empire became to where it was. But until then, I want to thank all of y'all. Once again, This is Sykalogics. This is my podcast. It's going to be going out. This is episode number 2. If you haven't seen episode number 1, go ahead and look here on Facebook, because once again, I'm trying to do these live as much as possible. I also have it on my YouTube channel at BMatthewCDV. And the CDV stands for Crazy Devil's Vet, because it is what it is. Bottom line, I want to thank everybody that showed up. Rocky, Ashley, Rob. Appreciate every last one of y'all coming here. Ron, hey, thank you for showing your support, and I will be back here, same back time, same back channel, next Friday. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy your weekend.